Since they just released the 2017 Power Rangers movie on Netflix, let's talk all about what happened with this movie. The 2017 Power Rangers movie destroyed the great opportunity we had to see a Power Rangers movie worthy of our admiration and took many of us by surprise since it was a movie out of the canon, meaning that it had nothing to do with the TV series. For example, with the Turbo movie, many were already expecting a movie, even with the 1995 movie, even though it was not part of the canon. Even so, it was more expected since Power Rangers was just starting, and it was almost obvious that they had to make a movie. Also, in the 95 movie they used the same actors that were in the series at the time. This 2017 movie had some good things and some things that were a total flop. The first thing I can say is that the makers of this movie really didn't know their audience. Even though it had some fan service, there were some things that really annoyed the fans, even annoying the original Power Rangers actors themselves. We can start with the good things, and even though the movie was not a total success, it still has things to be thankful for as fans. The first thing we can be thankful for is having used a piece of the Mighty Morphin theme song. That was a moment that brought the old fans to relive all their childhood because, although you can listen to this song at home at any time, it is very different to be able to listen to it in the cinema. Another good thing is the special effects, which in my opinion were very well done. This was to be expected since we are talking about a movie that was released in 2017 and not in 1995. The sounds, the images, the colors, the animation of the Zords, all of that was very good and it was something we could really enjoy. Even though the story is not the original canon story, I really liked seeing that Zordon and Rita were also Rangers. Another thing I liked was the power coins. Even though they looked like pieces of glass, it gave them a change from the famous coins we all know. We should also highlight the comedy that we had in this movie since Power Rangers has always had a bit of comedy combined with drama and action. Lastly, the appearance of the original actors of Kimberly and Tommy was something that made everyone scream with excitement. It would have been better if all the original actors had a part and not just for a few seconds but had some dialogue as well. Those were the good things I could enjoy about the movie, but I think the things that made the movie fail were more. First, we must start with the worst, the story of the Power Rangers, 5 rebellious people who were misfits and had a lot of problems with their family and friends. Since Power Rangers began, the Rangers have always been an example for all fans. People who do things right and have good relationships with the other people around them like family and friends. They are not perfect, they all have their problems, but they were always people who sought to do good. The Rangers in this movie were rebels, they wanted to do things wrong and looked for ways to always be mad at life. The only Ranger who was very much like the real Rangers was Billy, as he was a good-hearted young man and made things right in his normal life. Another thing they did wrong was the Zords because even though they looked very good due to the good CGI effects, even so, their design was terrible because they just looked like machines that combined Power Rangers and Transformers. I understand that the story of this movie is different and basically these Power Rangers come from another planet and maybe that's why the Zords looked like machines from other worlds. That's why I said the makers of this movie didn't know their audience, as any fan would have loved to see the old Mighty Morphin Zords created with 2017 technology. That would have been a shocking point of the movie, as we could see all the Zords with great CGI and amazing sounds and movements. This also happened with the suits, as instead of giving us 5 Rangers, we were given 5 Iron Mans with different colors. These suits have nothing to do with the Power Ranger suits and they were able to create a much better version of any suit. The proof that they were able to make better suits can be seen in the creations that have been made by different artists all over the internet, who have done an incredible job creating suits of another level. One of the things I liked least was Golder, as this character meant nothing. He was a gold giant melting and destroying everything with no personality, no face, and no voice. Golder is one of the most iconic characters in the franchise, and in this movie, they turned him into something unimportant. Even I was slow to realize that this monster was Golder, as he bore no resemblance to the original character. With 2017 technology, they were able to create a spectacular monster with more power and a lot of personality. In the TV series, the monsters always have a lot of personality, and this is what makes them unforgettable and unique enemies. This great personality was given to Rita, as she was one of the few good things the movie had. Rita's costume was spectacular, and the gold cane was impeccable, plus the deformation of her face made her look evil and dangerous. One of the things that bothered me the most about this movie was Zordon's personality, as here he was made to look selfish at the beginning of the movie. We never saw him as a wise teacher guiding the Rangers, but instead, at the beginning he wanted to come back to life no matter what sacrifice he had to make. Even though Zordon later sacrifices himself and helps Billy come back to life, still, I think it was too late and Zordon's image was tarnished. I think the 2017 movie was a good attempt, but for me it was a big failure, because if we compare it to the 1995 movie, which didn't have the technology that was in place in 2017 and which is also not canon, we can see how amazing that first movie was, even though it was made in 1995. If we make a brief comparison between these two movies, we can notice that the success of the 1995 movie was because they always kept the essence of Power Rangers, and although it had some advantages because they used the same actors of the series, there are other things that the 2017 movie could have used as well. An example of this is the number of villains, since Power Rangers has always been known for having a lot of secondary villains, and in the 2017 movie, we only saw Rita. Although there were also all the soldiers and the Golden Giant, the reality is that none of them had dialogue, so they are simple extra characters without so much importance. In the 1995 movie we had many secondary villains, and this stimulated the interaction between all of them, which achieved greater entertainment for the viewer. These are simple criticisms in order to evaluate a product that actually would have worked very well as a normal sci-fi movie, but doesn't work to represent Power Rangers. If Hasbro still wants to create a reboot using the same path that the 2017 movie had, then they should improve all of these things so that it can be a successful new universe. I think the best combination would be to have elements from the 2017 movie and elements from the 1995 movie. Using the best of both versions, I think they can create a perfect reboot. Write in the comments your reviews on the 2017 movie, like this video, and subscribe to this channel for more Power Rangers movies.